Hello everyone, welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. So we are over in Eastern Thanalan, near Camp Drybone, to progress the MSQ. What do I have? Collect sprigs of Althic lavender. Right, I forgot. We just had one more extra thing to do. We needed to go over here and get some lavender. Let's go do that first before we actually get the MSQ going. But yeah, we're actually working for a faction now. We're not just wandering about idly. I went out the wrong side of town, but that's fine. There are still hunt targets in this area, and I'm kind of keeping an eye out if we can find them. But we probably got all the ones in Drybone, and now they're actually just further out. And I would not mind killing some of these, what are they called? Mini Tragus? Ultra Tragus? Something or others. The big ones that we see occasionally. Those. Because they give me crafting mats for my leather worker. I'm not going to go out of my way to farm them, just if I see them nearby, I might as well kill them. Tragus. Yeah, those owl goat skins is what we need. And they seem to drop in high numbers. You don't get a bunch of them for a while, and then you'll get 5 or 6 at once. It's a curious system. I'm still not sure how this meditation mechanic is supposed to work. Basically, it's just giving me a free attack every battle, but I feel like there should be a way to charge it in battle. But when I do, I only get 1/5 of an attack, and that seems like it's not worth doing because it takes the place of other attacks. It's not like I can use it between attacks. Anyway. I'm sure I'll figure it out in time. Alright. That's what we're looking for. And there's another quest person here. Hello. By the gods, the life that sprouted here. I've never seen anything like it. But how could this be? Perhaps it was... You must forgive me. I was admiring the plants taking root about this gubu carcass. Well, I suppose I forgot myself for a moment. Have you ever seen such lovely flowers? I wager not even the wealthiest Uldans could claim to have laid eyes on their like before. I dare not let these beauties out of my sight, but this soil is parched, the plants wilting. Fetch some muddy spring water from the pond to the west. Yeah, it's a big gubu. I feel like I should be fishing in each of these little spots I find where there's water. But, oh well. Not one skin on all 6 of those. Tragic. Here you go. I fear that's not all I must ask of you. The petals and stems are covered with vilekin eggs. The larva will devour every leaf, petal, and stem. Remove any eggs you find. Well done! Our job is not yet finished. Ifrit clouds still lurk among the undergrowth. What am I doing? This one? Stingbird. I'll look at that in just a moment, see what I got. Enhanced Greased Lightning. Let me just finish this quest step first. And there you go. So we got... And it wasn't... No, was it a trait? Yes. So Grease Lightning, which reduces weapon skill cast time and auto attack is by 5%. This is 10%. So we're just faster now. Which basically means that the rhythm for this class is going to be completely screwing up the rhythm from every other class. But that's okay. I'll kill some Amalja, why not? There we go. We don't do enough of those fates. We probably should do more. They just kind of seem like an afterthought, you know? Like, I don't know. I think I've seen them implemented very well in other games. Like, I would say Guild Wars 2 probably has the best sort of dynamic world events. Or at least it did, 10 years ago when I played it. But these fates are just, I don't even know. They don't jump out at me. Here you go. Alright, what level is this MSQ? Level 17? We're level 20. Should we switch classes, maybe? We don't really have anyone right at 17, so I guess this is fine. At some point I need to level up my Arcanist and Marauder again. And start the other ones. So I know I have access already to Lancer, Rogue, and Archer. And they're not started yet. And the other ones, I believe, are all they require a higher rank. Okay. Well, let us get right to it then. Minfilia names the Amalja as culprits in this. You would do well to investigate them first. Much harm has been levied on these lands by Amalja hands. The flames burn where they might, but their light cannot stay the darkness in all places at all times. There have been brutal murders of colors at the church of Saint Adama. Saint Adama Lendama? Is that really a name? Adama Lendama? Innocents wishing no more than to pay their respects to the dead. The poor souls deserve a proper burial. I'll see to the deed before mongrels catch the scent. Secure their remains on the eastern road. Just to the southeast. Some of the Lalafell names are a little out there. Boofaloopu. I mean, even some of the place names like Limza Liminza is a little, sketch. It does flow off the tongue though. I think that's where we're going. It's a toppled wagon. No. Retrieve ripe corpses. I mean, am I putting them in my backpack or something? I mean, I don't know if I could carry 3 people, and I'm not. I mean, I'm not a very strong person. I can't claim to be like a very physically intimidating person, but I don't know. Carrying 3 people at once seems like a big deal to me. I have this, right? Yeah. With the bodies given back proper to the earth, the souls will find their way across to the other side. You've done a noble deed this day. What of the Amalja? Did you see any? Surely such a massive monstrosities as they cannot conceal their presence. So there were Amalja remaining. I feared as much. Their part in the lowborn disappearing is all but confirmed. I sense there is more to this than meets the eye. The occasional Amalja raiding party would not account for people going missing in these kinds of numbers. The total is too great. The questions too many. It would not surprise me if there's another hand in this. But whose? Countless travelers pass through Drybone every day. Even if it were one among them, how will we best discover who may be implicit in these vanishings? What say we turn an eye to the common folk themselves? There's a merchant by the name of Ungust, who was born here in Drybone and grew up in the Golden Bazaar. A rough character. He knows the people here better than anyone else. I wager he's at the inn, quaffing away the day's earnings. I'll write a note for you to show him. Well, gods be damned, you're that bloody adventurer who threatened me back in Ul'dah. Oh, it's that dude! Hello. With a weird haircut. What in the seven hells do you want with me now? Dear friend, missing people, please help. Yours, Eisenbart. Folk around here are as wary as they come. They'll turn tail and run if you so much as pass wind nearby. Played them all for fools and coaxed some hard labor out of them, I did. They're even more timid than before, what with all the disappearances. Go talk to them if you don't believe me. Yeah, look at him. What's with that haircut? It still looks terrible. Please, just leave me be. I have nothing to say but this. Thou'll take who or whatever's been feeding us off us lowfolk. What do you want? I don't know anything, I swear. Don't kill me. Is he not in the same place? I'm lost. I'm not in the inn anymore. Okay, wait a minute. That's the inn. Okay. Just as I told you, wasn't it? The whole lot of them are terrified. There's been talk of folk getting abducted. If you ask me, they simply up and moved. This place ain't exactly custom to sell, if you know what I'm saying. I see. I suppose I should have expected as much from one guest. Another thought occurred to me in your absence. The common folk are nothing if not fervent in their religious beliefs. Perhaps if they speak freely to their gods, the clergy may know something of use. If we would know what the common folk speak of to their gods, we have no better place to ask than the church of Saint Adama Landama, a small and humble church to the northwest. Gotcha. He got a man named Mark. Or Marquess, maybe. Ooh, I need that. But before we do that, though, there's quests up here. Let's to get the quest first. They might tell me to kill them also. Be welcome to the Church of Saint Adama Landama. I gather you're on no pilgrimage. Would you help me tend the lich yard while you're here with us? The graves outnumber those who keep them. Gather up old offerings. As you well know, we keep a lich yard here. The scent of death's decay draws blowfly swarms. Yep. Slay 5 of them. Never heard of a graveyard being referred to as a lich yard. It's kind of... I don't know. Now I want to play Graveyard Keeper again. That was a fun game. And they have new DLC for it now, I think. And I never really played one of the DLCs. I started to and it got bugged. And then my character was like bugged forever. It was a fun game. A little grindy. Alright, well, there it is. Saint Adama Landama. That's hilarious. What are you giving me? Snow White die. Hmm. Oh, there was another... Or maybe that was a follow-up. Here you go. Okay. Lichyard Lilies. You wish to honor the dead once more? Make offerings of these lilies at some of the simpler graves. And you... make a tombstone for your sister. You need some cloud marble. How far east is this? Oh, it's well out of here. Let's just go and do that, and then we'll play stuff on the way back up. You're really gonna make me go all the way around, aren't you? Up, up. Level 12s. It was a level 18 quest, wasn't it? Maybe not. Dum bum bum. Na dum ding. Nope, not you. Indoors. I have a big slab of marble that needs to be turned into a grave. A tombstone. It was all I could do to convince him not to go looking for a stone on his own. I suppose it cannot be helped. Losing a loved one is never easy. Thank you for your part in this. I'll see the marble is used as Edward wishes. You adventurers sure are kind folk. Now all I need is coin for the funeral. I'm going to stay here at the church for a bit and help out. Wouldn't be right to leave everything up to someone else. It means more to me, I assist, if I do what I can. Alright. Let's go talk to this guy, Mark. I am Mark, yes. A body? Of course, there have been so many bodies of late. If you seek a place of burial, then there is a empty grave atop the ridge. Take the path and lay him to rest there. May they all walk in Thal's realm. Missing people? I'm afraid I cannot help you. Maybe Sister Orkin can. She's been kind to me. Everyone has been so kind. I don't know why, though. Pardon me. You'll find Sister Orkin within the church walls. Orson? I must say Orson. I hear you've done us the service of burying a fallen soul. Accept our gratitude. Extend it to Isambard when you next see him. You seek knowledge of missing Drybone inhabitants? It's true I'm closer to the people than any other of the Order. I confide in them and they in me. When they wish to speak to their keeper, Thal, I am the medium through which they do. Should I learn anything pertinent, I'll be sure to share the information with you. I only wish Mark would be more helpful in the matter. I pray he did nothing to offend. He saw terrible things during the calamity. His scars run deep. He seems now to prefer the company of the dead over the living. While tragic, I fear such behavior ill befits the church. I received word not too long ago that one of our recent visitors, a man named Thancred, I believe, took offense at his conduct. I must have words of Markin soon. Okay. So Thancred's been here. Thank you, Ye. A burial is no easy thing, even when the departed is a stranger. Were you able to learn aught of the missing common folk? You've been keeping yourself rather busy of late, haven't you, Ye? Yeah, Thancred's right here. A pleasure, my dear Isambard. The name is Thancred, and I share a passion with you and our mutual friend here for learning what has become of these missing persons and why. I too spoke with Ungust, more times than I care to count. There seems to be some truth to this notion of the common folk speaking their secrets only to those in service to the gods. Prostration, prayer, penance, abject deeds done behind closed doors, away from prying eyes. Who better to take the pious unaware than she who takes confession, the good sister Orson herself? Orson? She wouldn't. She couldn't. Even the most beautiful roses have thorns, my friend. You'd be wise to keep an eye to this rose. Still, the Lich Keeper Mark, I swear to the 12 I've seen that face elsewhere before. We have new side quests. Okay. Caitlin, what do you have for me? A level 19 quest. You need some meat. Your brother is up at the Gold Bazaar and he wants some tuco meat. Are there others? It's kind of hard to tell. I'm going to say no, but I'm going to go ahead and take this quest, because I think this might send us up towards Gold Bazaar. If it doesn't, then we'll do this quest anyway, that quest anyway. Sister Orson, it cannot be. Though she is wont to travel to the Golden Bazaar on her own. Yeah, there we go. It's not uncommon to see her speaking to the children, but it could not be she, could it? I grow weary of these suspicions. I know there is one child in particular she's fond of. Seek out that boy, and see if you cannot glean anything from him about Orson's activity. Yeah, at Golden Bazaar. Gotcha. Plenty of tucos here. Don't need to go all the way up there for them. Vandalous imps. Oops. I didn't charge. Oh, I went the wrong way. Oh well, it doesn't matter. The Invisible City. Rotting corpses. I need those too. We'll probably get sent over here in a moment, but that's okay. I have a bad habit of resetting my combo on each new enemy. Actually, I can just keep on going. I don't need to start over again with my whatever it is, my Y. Difficulty rank unlocked. New action learned. Faint. We just get somewhere where we're not going to be attacked. Okay. Faint. Lowers the target's physical damage dealt and magic damage dealt by 5%. How does that affect me? That makes my tank's life easier. And I'm going to get something Armor the Destroyer at 26. It's my AoE. Okay, so I'm starting to get an AoE attack instead of attacks. But not for a while. I mean, we had AoE attacks on our other classes much earlier. But this one has, I think, probably the strongest single target at the moment. Although maybe Marauder at their level. Here you go. Have some meat. Some miners have come to stay at the bazaar while they prospect the area. A unit of Amalja raiders are here. Okay, just a moment. Are they coming from some other direction too? Yeah, okay. They're over here too. Spirit Bond. We don't get spirit bonds from killing enemies very often. Alright. Kill some imps. And kill some Walking Dead. I'm betting. No, you need help finding help. There are massive mithril deposits. Ooh. Maybe I should switch to miner and play it for a bit. The miners I fed before are only the beginning. More and more that will flock here in the coming week. We've been nothing more than a small settlement, but the sky is the limit. You need people to help you build an inn. I mean, this isn't going to work, man. You don't want to hire around here. You need people coming in from outside. You should have me post these things in Camp Drybone. Everyone around here already knows that you need help. And this is a terrible spot. This is a spot where everyone coming in can just miss it. Look at that over there. Big Quail. Big level 50 Quail. Well. Not my problem. Take 5 more and give them to random people. Okay. I mean, I'm sure people around here already know. Letters, never learned them. Just read it to me. No, I don't have a moment to talk about Thal. I have to admit, I've had people come into my door and ask if I wanted to talk about Jesus Christ, and I was actually really uncertain how to respond. You know, it's the kind of thing you see like in you see parody of, but when it actually happens for real, like you don't really know how to deal with it. Then they wanted to pray with me when I said no. I felt bad. Alright. Notice it's distributed, man. You were in a dark place after my brother died, but now I'm going to breathe life back into this bazaar. And now... a miner recently came from Amagina and Sons and wants a sample of stone from the eastern ruins. Alright. Yeah, okay. So that is where the undead people were. But I am going to switch... Well, first of all, let's get that. Then let's switch over to miner and just see what's around here. Like, we haven't actually done much in the way of mining lately. There's something 349 to the southeast. That's, well, I guess that's in the right. That's still in this area, maybe. Maybe it's a bit farther down. I'll be back for you guys in a moment. I mean, I'm thinking this is something not supporting the narrative. There is no mithril in these hills. 162 to the southeast. This guy's gonna, you know, he's running a scam. There we are. Let's see what minerals we got around this area. There's aluminum, raw malachite, and raw fluorite. I have a challenge for that, right, don't I? Wait a minute, let me just check my challenge log. Yeah, I need to gather 100 times. Sure. Let's do that real quick. It only means going around 25 times because you got 4 for each. I really do need to start up my botanist. That's why I've been kind of not making I haven't done carpentry yet either because I am assuming, and my weaver is actually well behind the others. I really need a botanist to supply the wood and the cotton. But it does involve running in a circle for a bit. Like this. Let's switch it up and get like some raw malachite or something. I learned bountiful yield. increases number of items obtained. So we should just do that like all the time. There's lots of little quests around here. Maybe this is where we're going to be sent next. The XP is lower here. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the XP is just because we leveled up. Now it's just lower across the board. So yeah, no. These are level 17 and the Illumin's level 19. Probably close. I'm refraining from looking because we're gonna be just on the edge. Maybe I'll take a check. Here. We're halfway. Only halfway? Really? There we go, a boon from nature. That's the one for getting the doubles. I wonder if this doesn't count as being comparable level. No, it's good. We're 2/3 done. Lucky on that one. You flipped a coin 4 times and got heads each time. And again. Wow. I should buy a lottery card. We flipped a coin 8 times and got heads 8 times. This one's 90%, and then we don't get it, of course. I've kind of been ignoring class quests. Like I think we can actually do our level 20 class quests on several of our of the combat classes we have done. Just haven't bothered. We'll knock them like out in a row at some point. Oops, sorry. There we go. Oh no, it's still... There we go, now it's complete. And we gained a new action, Solid Reason. Grants another gathering attempt. Nifty. I mean, you can always just walk over to the next one, but... I guess maybe eventually we're gonna run out of difficulty. Okay, update if we can. We cannot. Let's switch. I guess Pujo's is only 22. We can go Gladiator. Why not? But this is kind of my plan, is I want to have a class ready to go whenever we out-level the current content. Because there's too much quest. There's too many quests for you to complete all at on level. And so if you're going to end up, 10 levels ahead of your MSQ, I might as well have another class ready to pick it up. Oh, you need these for your hunt log too. That's even more perfect. And you need the nobles. I do like it when classes give me more buttons to push. I mean, maybe that's, you know, maybe that's silly of me, but this class has 3 buttons to push. And, but my pugilist has 5. Or 4, really. It feels very different. Where's the other slabs? There's one. Okay. I'm worried that I have to re-clear something. Well, whatever. I don't see another one. Maybe it's outside. Maybe in here? No. Yeah, it's not here. I'm missing it. There it is. My bad. Line of sight. This sucks. You need to come down here, man. Thank you, dude. are some samples of cloud marble. It's not mithril, man. I don't believe it. There's a follow-up. Hill beasts. Earth sprites. Put down 3 earth sprites. And then find the merchant at Camp Drybone. So we don't need to come back here for that. So we should just go ahead and finish up our MSQ. Please help! Sister Orson went out on her own and hasn't come back. She's always read to me right here about Thal and the Order and the other side. I told her I lost my shiny thing and she went looking for it. But what if the monsters outside hurt her? Please help her. It's just some imps. I wouldn't be worried. Or I guess it's mages. Rotting mages. You're the one from the church. Thank goodness you arrived when you did. My gratitude is yours yet again. You spoke with the child? Yes, I was able to find his lost trinket. It's a ring given him by his mother before she passed. I'll see it safely back to him. Does not seem sketch, so I think maybe she is not our problem. Oh, and you're done. Okay. Don't need to go back. What level are these quests right here? They're level 24. Okay, so they're not for us yet. 4 skins. Worth doing. Alright, no follow-up. Another quest chain complete. Sister Orson was attacked outside the Gold Bazaar. Gods forbid, I will secure a room at the inn for her should she require any rest. Searching for the mementos of orphans and risking her own well-being in the doing, no less. Not the dastardly deeds Thancred would have us believe. I'm well glad I reserved the inn room for Sister Orson. She received greater injuries than she initially let on. She's expected to make a full recovery, though. But now, on to the matter at hand. Thancred came looking for you once more. He'll be waiting at the Amalja encampment to the southeast. All the way across. That's fine. Five skins just from that one dude. And none from the 4 of those. Oh well. RNG is RNG. There's a dude there. Oh, that's where we're meeting. Okay. Let me just kill some bowls. There you are, yea. So good of you to come. I've heard all about Sister Orson. Isambard said her wounds were serious. It would seem my suspicions about the poor Rose were misplaced. False though they were, perhaps my suspicions were not entirely without merit. While following Sister Orson near the Golden Bazaar, a band of Amalja caught my eye. I tracked them as far as its encampment, but, well, let us say I'd much prefer to keep my distance and remain here. This brings me to why I requested you. Would you be so kind as to take a look inside? That seems rather selfish. A queer leaflet. Did anything tickle your fancy? This leaflet. See the wealth of Nald to the hands of your children. Some sort of assembly to provide the poor with work. The lettering, though, atrocious, is it not? And these bits about Nald seem somewhat less than studied. I find it hard to believe one among the Order penned this. Take this to the inn at Camp Drybone. Let us see what the Sister Orson makes of it. I like how people just routinely walk out of existence. Nobody ever just fades. They all take a couple steps and then disappear. Engine limitations, I know, but, you know, it's cool. I like it. I do think that the way it works is that their engine is almost completely immobile in terms of, I mean, the NPCs are almost completely immobile. I don't believe that like we'll ever see an NPC walking around unless it's a valid combat target. Like we see the what's it called? The on the fates we see like friendly NPCs that help out, but all of these people, like the ones sitting just in town, they don't move. Or if they, well, am I right? I don't think so. I think that that's how their engine works. NPCs don't like have patrols. They just sit there and wait. So when one walks into non-existence, it's actually executing animation in place, I'm betting. Not actually moving. But whatever. You're not the right person. There you are. My savior comes again. To what do I owe the honor this day? What is this? Blasphemous. These are not our teachings at all. This was not made by any true brother or sister of the Order. Of that I can assure you. Come to think of it, weeks ago the church was plagued by missing garments. Could someone be posing as a priest of the Order to deceive the people? The plot thickens, yea? Our culprit pretends to be a priest to lend credence to his deception. There's no doubt and irony in there somewhere. I suspect we have a worthy adversary on our hands. I shall consider how best to handle this. Tell Isambard what we have learned. Posing as a priest, to think. These troubling notions aside, it's gratifying to finally be able to move this investigation forward. Thank you once again. I shall keep my ears and eyes open, now more than ever. So we're level 23, this quest is 19. I think we should switch classes. Let's switch to thaumaturge. Help identify and apprehend the false priest. I'm afraid I've not seen any unusual activity, nor have any at this camp given me cause to doubt them. Unless we can identify the culprit, and soon more innocents will fall victim. Do not despair just yet, my friend. An idea occurs to me. Our suspect has been posing as a priest, using leaflets bearing false promises to lure the poor. Let Ye and me serve like with like by posing as impoverished souls needing succor. I dare to hope this will yield the answers we seek. It will be a dangerous undertaking, but you two are more than capable of looking after yourselves. I'm next to useless in a battle. I can supply the garments for the disguise. These old tunics and slops should serve your needs. These will serve well. You have my thanks. Listen, Ye. So as to lay the foundation for our little ploy, we must make it widely known that more vagrants have arrived at camp. I want you to don the old garments and beg for work. Before long, the false priest should catch wind and approach. So I need to wear a weathered shepherd's tunic and weathered shepherd's slops. And these are actually getting full up. I need to sort through my armory chest at some point. Oh, no, there's nothing he can do for you. Okay. I preach the teachings of Azema the Warden. Hast thou come to partake of the honey of her wisdom? Azema is keeper of the sun and goddess of inquiry. All was laid bare beneath the light of her divine countenance. Open thy heart to this light, needy child, and you shall want for naught the end of days. So that's a genuine priest. And I was about to get to the good part. Looking for work, you say? We don't have any openings. Get out of here. And you are? Another refugee by the looks of you. The immortal flames have neither work nor coin for your like. Be gone and see to it you don't make a nuisance. You didn't try to recruit me? What are you thinking, man? Little did they know I'm actually the Elden Lord. Up top? Ah, there it is. Yeah. What is it? Guys, not again. Look, being poor doesn't give you the right to pester whomsoever you like. Why don't you keep with your own kind out by the muddy pond of yours at Drybone? You've quite a knack for being a nuisance, Ye. The camp is abuzz with talk of newly arrived vagrants. We were unable to track our wayward transgressor. We were able to learn the poor have a commune by the pond north of Sandgate, to the east of you. The eyes of the authorities do not reach that place, an ideal for spiriting away hapless souls. Let us go there and wait for the priest to come and offer us aid and comfort. I love it when it rains in games. Oh, I've got two. Oh, okay. So my double my charges of Astral Ice and Astral Fire and Umbral Ice are now doubled. Nifty. I didn't even notice that when we played last time. A fine morning for catching false priests, wouldn't you say? You look smashing, eh? Positively dressed for deception. All that's left then is to wait for our quarry to appear. Oh, you poor unfortunate souls. This is no way for men to live, no way at all. Who are you? What do you want? Be at ease, child, I mean no harm. I am a priest of the Order of Nalthal, and I come to offer you succor. This leaflet bears the teachings of Nald. Trust to them and they will surely set you free from the shackles of penury. A tempting offer, but I'm afraid I must decline. On account of this atrocious performance, you would have made a god's awful mummer, Ungust. What? How did you know? You bastards tricked me! Don't hurt me, I was only doing it to protect my people. Is that so? Continue. Very well. I'm a man of the Golden Bazaar, raised there if not born. Some moons ago, the Amalja raids began. They'd appear sudden as a sandstorm, and plunder and pillage at will. Our defenders couldn't stand against them, as few as they were. Everyone lived in fear. I wanted to save my people, but being a merchant was all I knew. I did the only thing a merchant could. I approached the Amalja in hopes of brokering a deal. In return for sparing the Golden Bazaar, they made demands. Outrageous ones. Demands? Of what kind, pray tell? First of all, they wanted the schedule for crystal shipments from the Nanawa mines. For this, I bribed one of the workers to leak me the info. Next, they wanted me to bring them people. I posed as a priest to lure in the vulnerable and give them over to the Amalja. I didn't have a choice. Protecting one's home is a noble thing, but at the cost of innocence? You could have sought the aid of the immortal flames, but you did not. I suspect you're not telling me the full story. What made you sell out your own people? It was good. What did you say? The coin was good, I said. I could sell mole meat for a score of lifetimes and not even see a fraction of what the Amalja pay me. You sacrificed innocence so you could line your own pockets. Words fail to express the contempt I feel for you. Spare me your contempt. If you want to blame someone for the mess in the world's in, blame yourselves or the gods. Ugh, not you again. Were you the one leaking the immortal flames patrol routes to the enemy as well? Spit it out. No, I know nothing about that, I swear it. At this stage, I'm rather disinclined to believe aught that leaves your mouth. But no matter. There'll be time enough to learn the truth. Yea, be a dear and take word of these developments to Menphilia. I'll prize everything I can out of this filth. The abductees are still out there. Our foremost priority is to rescue them. Let's just look around real quick to see if there are any what's it called? Hunt targets. I mean, I can just look, I suppose. So you still need antlings from Central Thanaland. And then blowfly swarms, rotting corpses. Okay. Let's go get those. Don't attack me. I'm way high level compared to you. I'm +5. You should ignore me. I warned you. Okay. Undertaker. Are you gonna kill me? Yep, looks like it. Unleashed. Okay. I bet we could do another class though. Let's switch to our gladiator. Gladiator's pretty awesome. I need to actually sync. What is that ability to have? Reprisal. I don't want to use it when I'm doing this, but we'll look at it in just a moment. Wow, we're tanky. Like, he can't even hurt us. Alright, what is that ability? Not one of these. Reprisal, here it is. Reduces damage dealt by nearby enemies by 10% for 10 seconds. So it's like our shield wall, but it affects them, not us. It's so minor, 10%. Whoop. Oh. I'm an idiot. I'm not paying attention to my mana. I don't really get what the multiple charges do. They don't seem to make it so that the spell costs more. I would have thought that the spell cost would keep increasing. But no, it only goes up from 800 to 1600 and that's it. So, it's puzzling. Oh! While maintaining stacks of astral fire or ice, a spell of the opposite element can be cast at no cost. Okay. Interesting. So I've been trying to swap before beginning to cast the opposite school. But that doesn't tell me what happens when I have multiple stacks of it. I don't know. I didn't mean to come here. I want to go to the graveyard. I'm in the wrong spot. Don't kill me, Quero. There they are. Okay. And now we just need that sentry, which we think is over here-ish. This is a dungeon. Cutter's Cry. Wonder if that's where we're headed next. Alright, back to Menphilia. What about all these quests? 17. Ah, I can't target. Give me seeds for garden cultivation. I think we'll fail. We'll decline that. We don't have a house, so there's no point. Hello. Welcome back. I'm pleased you and Thancred have been getting along. You've done well to uncover the truth. My thanks for the report. As Thancred said, we must ascertain where the abducted were taken, and none but the Amalja know the answer. Suffice to say, they will not willingly part with that information. Blood will be spilled before all is said and done. Though we seek a peaceful solution to the primal problem, we must needs be ready to fight for our cause. That you might take to the field suitably prepared, I would have you meet with a goblin acquaintance of mine. His name is Mutamix Bubblypots, and he's a scholar of no small repute. Mutamix is renowned for having introduced... Yeah, I know how to meld. I've done this before. I shall lend you a blade. Take it to Mutamix and bid him use it to demonstrate his craft. Okay. I mean, oh well. I'm not gonna complain. But I could meld that dagger right now. If they wanted. Yeah, let's just warp. So we're going to Central. To the northeast. I guess it makes sense. So even if you don't do any crafting in this game, you still need to learn about materia and how to meld and all that. And we got some here from as part of a crafting quest. Please meld this dagger. Fighty Tool drinks an airy self. When full of airy self, Fighty Tool changes to Stony Shine, name of Materia. If Materia joins with other Fighty Tool, then Big Eyes! Fighty Tool gains power of airy self. Mutamix is reckoning the Uplander as friend of Minfilia. Yes, tongue flaps reach ears of Mutamix with fastness. Minfilia wants Uplander to see power of materia. Fighty Tool is unstrong as Eating Tool. Make good Teachy show of power of materia. The Materia Master. Now eyes of Uplander point at Fighty Tool, yes? Materia join with Fighty Tool. Fighty Tool gains power of materia. Fighty Tool reborn. Here, Uplander take Fighty Tool to Minfilia. Materia is a kind of crystal. It's created by drawing out etheric constituents from a piece of equipment and then crystallizing it. Not just any old equipment, it must have sufficient spirit bond. Yeah, we know. Advanced materia melding. Uplander is joiner of... Oh, interesting. If I hadn't done any crafting, would it force me to do crafting now? Maybe. Uplander desires to join Muchly, yes. The Mutamix makes brain case of Uplander rattle, with secret knowing of materia. Uplander must be proving readiness. Uplander showing... Showy do attaching 8 pieces of materia. Meld materia before meetings. Okay. Let me switch over to my crafting class. So I am a blacksmith. How do I do this? I say meld. Okay. And we have a whole bunch of craftsman stuff. So I guess, yeah, this would force you to learn how to craft. If you hadn't already messed with it. I probably should do this anyway, you know? For that matter, let's set up our gathering. And that's it. Okay. It is done, man. Advanced materia melding. You can now attempt to attach materia to gear which has all of its slots filled. While its benefits can be great, success is not guaranteed. And if you fail, then you lose the materia. Fair enough. Oh, now this goes straight back to Menphilia. Sure. Here's something. This was not available before. Hello, Haladalai. Hail there, adventurer. I'm Nedrick Ironheart, an explorer by trade and a scion by allegiance. And you look to me, an adventurer in need of a challenge. Tucked in away in the corner of eastern Thanalan lies Haladalai. Okay, so it's a dungeon. Well, I don't want to do a dungeon right now, so let's just go ahead and continue with our questing. What a remarkable difference a single piece of materia can make. Granted, the skills needed to manipulate the substance are not easily acquired, but one need only look upon the results to realize such efforts are worthwhile. As I'm sure you're aware, the quality of one's equipment can be the difference between victory and defeat. Materia may well give you the edge you need. It's time we discuss the matter of your next mission. Speak with me when you're ready to begin. What are you giving me? A level 18 weapon coffer. Well, I already have a level 19 weapon, so never mind. Not in this class. Word has arrived from Thancred concerning our ongoing investigation. He was able to extract some information from our friend Ungust, the false priest. He is due to meet with the Amalja to discuss their dealings. The Immortal Flames believe the meeting will present an ideal opportunity to ambush and capture the Amalja, and so they mean to have Ungust attend as planned. As the Amalja are anticipated to offer fierce resistance, the Immortal Flames have requested support. Provide it to them, yet. Thancred is presently attending to another matter, but will join you as soon as he is able. Until such time as he does, you will be the Scion's representative on the ground. Before he left, he bade me tell you to save some for him. Such is his confidence in you, a confidence I share. When you've made ready, take yourself to Camp Drybone and report to this flame sergeant leading the mission. May you walk in the light of the crystal. Okay, where is Haladalai? Like, do we want to walk past it? It was somewhere in Thanalan, he said. That's not it. There it is. Haladalai. So we're actually going to be going right by it anyway. Let's go ahead and just knock that out. Well, we'll talk to this guy first, and then we'll do it. Just to see if you're sending us out in that same direction. Ah, you're Yay of the Scions. My thanks for coming, friend. We're stronger for your assistance. Allow me to brief you on our mission. Our objective is to capture Amalja and prize from them the whereabouts of the abductees. The lizard men aren't aware that their man, Ungust, has been exposed. When they come to the rendezvous to meet with him, we'll spring the trap. Owing to the clandestine nature of the mission, we can deploy only a small contingent. Every member must count, and we requested the aid of the Scions. The rendezvous will take place at the Invisible City. Really? We have to go back there yet again? We stand to learn much and more of the Amalja plot if the mission succeeds. Let's make sure it does. Oh, we keep on having to go back to that one place. I don't care, I'm gonna go south first. So it's behind this wall. Hello, everyone. What is going on there? Oh, they're just fighting, killing random things. Hitting things for 1,000s. I'm assuming that must be a high-level person. If it's the halls of Halalala you seek, you need seek no further. The name comes from an ancient tongue, Halalala meaning the land of many shadows. It was here that our distant ancestors first settled. But you've not come all the way for a lesson in history. Do you hear the howls and growls? Do you not feel how they shake the very earth beneath you? Those sounds are the work of no wind, my friend. Those are the calls of Halalai. For now the beasts once kept for the Colosseum lurk there. And these are no gentle beasts broken by the hand of men. No, there are those within that even the might of the immortal flames cannot tame. From the look of you, you must be Yang. I received word from Nedrick you might be along. By his recommendation, I grant you leave to enter. Okay, but we don't need to do it. We just have opened it. We unlocked it. This is a lazy warp, but that's okay. Ah. Is the bait in place? Alright, man, it's in position, sir. Good. We make our move as soon as the Amalja appear. What is the meaning of this? Wait, something's amiss. Traitorous flame soldier. Ooh. I'm afraid your little ambush ends here. I eluded the immortal flame's clutches for moons before finally being caught. Do you not wonder how I managed it? It was almost as if someone was feeding him information from the inside. Your every movement was known to me ahead of time. As much as I'd love to chat a while, I have appointments to keep. There's quite a few of them. And me without an AoE. Well, I should probably hit the other one first. Okay. I found the big dude. I guess we lose in the cutscene. Put up your weapon or your comrade's a dead man. Okay. The lizardmen marches to a stronghold. They're preparing for something, and I do not want to be around when they finish. I fear the Amalja mean to give us to their god as an offering. If I must die, let me die a soldier's death, with steel in hand. Okay. We have to do a dungeon. The Bowl of Embers. We're going with Conjurer, Marauder, Thaumaturge. Oh, I guess my gear's about to break. Whoops. Lord of the Inferno, hearken to our plea. Lord of the Inferno, deliver us from misery. O mighty Ifrit, Lord of the Inferno, your humble servants beseech you. Grace us with your divine presence. Mighty Ifrit, we bring before you ignorant savages who know not your Godhead. If it please you, scorch their heathen souls with your cleansing flame. Mark them as your own. Bring those two as well. What's going on? This ain't what we agreed. None but servants of Lord Ifrit may behold the rite of summoning. The souls of unbelievers are forfeit. Pitiful children of man, by my breath I claim you. Arise once more as my loyal minions. Feed my flames with your faith, and all who stand against us shall burn. O mighty Ifrit, my one true God, your words are my bread. Impossible! By what sorcery do you resist my master's will? Could it be? Your soul already belongs to another. Yes, that's the only explanation. Forsooth, thy frail mortal frame can serve as vessel to the blessing of but one. Yet I smell not the taint of another upon thee. The truth of thine allegiance waxeth clear. Thou art of the godless blessed's number. The paragons warned of thine abhorrent kind. Thine existence is not to be suffered. Hey guys. Ouch. Oh, I probably should do something about that. Oh. I just got killed? When your HP reaches 0, you're KO'd. Okay. I don't know how maybe that was a timing thing? Okay, you guys need to spread out. I don't want to be near you. Go away. That felt like an insta-kill, like not something that you're supposed to, like I failed to dodge. So I guess we need to be watching out for that thorn. I thought we got it, but maybe we didn't get it fast enough. 50% text. Infernal Nail. There we go. Maybe my DPS is just really bad. I think we failed again. No? Maybe I was able to survive that last time, I just failed to. Ow. Ow. There we go. Pray forgive my lateness. I was delayed by a congregation of Amalja zealots. I swear, each seemed more evangelical than the last. Persistent lot. I see the Bloodsworn wasted no time extracting the captives. No less than I expect from the Flame General's hand-picked men. As for those two, it's fair to say their hardships have only just begun. They have much to answer for. I feel I owe you an apology, eh? Had I known this mission would prove so dangerous, I would never have left you to face it alone. You've been given a veritable baptism in fire. Let's continue this conversation in more agreeable surrounds. Camp Drybone, shall we say. So that was the mighty Ifrit. Or Ifrit. That's some sort of, Guardian? Is that their names? By their name? Nero Tolskiva. What a disappointment he was. The readings are nowhere near what I had anticipated, even taking Uldan interference into account. You should know better than to rely upon 5-year-old data left by the 7th Legion. Nor can we expect any form of support from the motherland, given the troubles at court. We have only ourselves to rely on. Ever the pessimist, my dear Livia. Promise me you'll never change. We've wasted enough time here. That meter of yours is too old to give any reading worth a damn. Not that there was aught worth a damn for it to read, but I take your point. We must content ourselves with the knowledge that we've achieved our primary objective. I find I'm troubled by that adventurer's unexpected show of strength. Could such a foe prove a hindrance to our plans? Perhaps. A consideration for another time. You've been given a task. That is your priority. I suggest you treat it as such. Fail to do as my lord commands, and I will spare him the trouble of punishing you. With allies like that, beware a woman in love. I shall need to be on my best behavior. Okay. There you are, Yang. Come, rest a while. You'll have no better opportunity. After witnessing their god's ignominious defeat, the Amalja will be less inclined to risk our wrath. For a time, at least. Where were we? Ah, yes. I was in the process of apologizing. I do hope you can forgive me. I arrived too late to be of any use, to you or the abductees. They may be whole-bodied, but the same cannot be said of their minds. For once a man is tempered. But it ill suits me to dwell on the negatives. Amidst all our misfortunes, there is still reason to rejoice. Ifrit is slain, and by your hands, no less. That is the deed of no ordinary individual, Yang. Not that I ever thought you were ordinary. On the contrary, I have long suspected you have the potential to shape the fate of this realm. What can I say? My fine eye for talent remains undimmed. Minfilia will be proud beyond all reckoning when she hears of your deeds. I trust you shan't object to my bearing the tidings. That way I can claim to have contributed something to the mission. You, meanwhile, have earned yourself a rest. Take some time to relax and return to the Waking Sands when you're good and ready. We can discuss matters in more detail then. Don't take too long, though. The realm's problems won't solve themselves. Okay. I guess we're done here in Drybone for a while. Let's go back to the Waking Sands. That didn't give me any loot. Like, a dungeon has like loot for every boss, but that killing Ifrit didn't have a chest. That I saw, at least. The triumphant hero returns! Thancred told us the news upon his arrival. He's in the Solar giving a full report to Lady Minfilia. Join them at once. Lady Minfilia is most eager to see you. My late arrival nearly cost Ye her life. I wasn't there when the Amaja took her prisoner. And I wasn't there when they served her to Ifrit. Yes, by some miracle she survived. It does not excuse the fact that she should never have had to face such danger alone. I failed her utterly. Just as I'm failing you all. Okay, this guy's got some self-confidence issues. What's done is done, Thancred. You can ill blame yourself for every. It's so good to see you again. Impeccable timing, my friend. I just finished regaling Minfilia with your heroic exploits. Thancred told me everything. You've done well to return to us. The perils you faced were undeniably great, yet part of me believes I had no cause to fear, and now we can put paid to our long investigation. As we suspected, the Amaja undertook both the robbery and the abductions, with the aim of summoning their primal. Nor is this tale limited to Ul'dah. Similar incidents have been rife in both Limsa Lominsa and Gridania of late. That's interesting. I wonder if we'd started as someone in a different place, we would have done other quests, you know? Like, if I had started in Limsa Lominsa, would I be working with Ishtola to fight Prime over there? And then we'd hear, oh, and similar things have happened in Ul'dah recently. I dare say you've been curious how these crimes are linked to primals. Permit me to explain. Having manifested in the physical realm, primals must consume ether if they are to maintain their presence here. The stronger they become, the more ether they require. Ether exists throughout creation. It flows through all life, and permeates the very air we breathe. But this alone will not suffice to sustain the likes of Ifrit. He and his kind require a more concentrated source of ether, crystals. It's for this reason that incidents involving crystals can often be traced back to a primal. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. I wonder if the crystals I'm gathering them for my god. For the crystal god. Which leaves us with the why of the abductions. To understand this, you must first understand how primals are born. When all is well with the world, primals possess no physical form. Their essence is dispersed across the great river of ether. When the world is plunged into chaos, those who worship the primals cry out to their gods for deliverance from suffering. These cries serve as a beacon towards which a primal's essence is irresistibly drawn. It is this coming together, or etheric coalescence, which grants the being's physical form. Once born, a primal gains strength from its followers' worship. The more numerous and fervent they are, the more powerful their god becomes. But the primals are seldom satisfied with such reverence as their adherents freely give. In order to gain more power, they do not scruple to create followers. They do this by tempering mortals, a process to which you yourself are subjected. Yet even as Ifrit took your comrades in his thrall, you alone remained unaffected. This is thanks to the power you possess, the Echo. We know not the why of it, but those blessed with the Echo are immune to primal influence. It is as though a greater power protects us. When first you came to us, I told you the Echo would be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. I trust you now begin to see why. The recent incidents all share a common trait: meticulous planning. Such elaborate designs are a new development, and one which fills me with an unshakable sense of foreboding. While I share your concern, my presiding feeling is one of relief at your safe return. The immortal flames assured me they will deal with the aftermath. You need not concern yourself with that. We may rest easy for a time. Take full advantage of the respite, Ye. You may be sure it won't last long. Once the people learn the identity of the hero who fell at Ifrit, you will have nary a moment to yourself. Whether she intended to or no, Memphilia neglected to tell you something I think it would be best you heard from one of us. It concerns the tempered abductees that were rescued. I'm sorry to report that all were to be put to death. The flames with whom you were imprisoned included. Needless to say, this information must not be made known to the public. I swear to you, we would not do this if there were any other recourse. But once a man is tempered, he's tempered for life. His very existence lends strength to the primal, whom he cannot choose but worship. And so we Scions continue our fight, that no more innocents need be sacrificed. I hope you'll continue to stand with us, Ye. I should be going. I must offer my apologies to the Flame General for the losses his people suffered. Gods forgive me, how many more lives? Louis Soir would never have allowed this to happen. I have to do better. I have to be stronger. Until not very long ago, you were but one of many adventurers seeking to make their way into Eorzea. But for your character and courage, you were raised to the esteemed post of envoy. Thereafter you traveled the realm, aiding those in need without thought of reward, confirming to Thancred that the Scions would benefit from your aid. And no sooner had you joined us than you personally bested the primal Ifrit. You've achieved a great deal in a short time, and won fame in so doing. Alas, fame does not come without a price, as you will soon discover. We have guests. Or rather, you have guests. Beg pardons! Lady Memphilia, radiant as always. I am given to understand the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have but recently welcomed a new hero into their midst. I'm here on behalf of the Maelstrom, Grand Company of Late Limsa Laminza, to offer said hero a place of honor within our ranks. As you can see, your recent exploits have garnered you the attentions of the grand companies of Eorzea. Each organization would have Ifrit's bane for its own. To this end, all three have sent officers to court you. They would not necessarily go to such lengths to enlist a recruit. That they have is evidence of their high regard. I find myself wondering how word of Ye's deeds spread so quickly. That the immortal flame should know of her triumph is to be expected. But what of the other grand companies? Tataru? Your reputation precedes you, Mistress Talren. 'Tis no ordinary woman who can face a primal and emerge the victor. The Order of the Twin Adder has need of valiant women such as yourself. Join your strength to ours, friend, and together let us ensure that peace ever reigns over the Twelveswood. What a pleasure it is to finally meet you, Miss Talren. My comrades speak of you in the most glowing terms. Even before you aided us against the Amalja and their dread primal, yours was already a respected name in Ul'dah. Our people know you and love you well. A woman of your talent belongs with the immortal flames. Join your strength to ours, friend, and let us secure a prosperous future for Ul'dah. The Admiral was not exaggerating when she said you have the look of a hero. Full often does she speak of you, friend. It is only natural we would want you for the Maelstrom. Join your strength to ours, and together let us see the grand vessel of Limsa Liminza to the shores of glory. Lady Minfilia. Though I'm quite sure you need no reminding, maybe a brief summary of the situation would help clarify your thoughts. As you know, the Grand Companies are all-encompassing organizations empowered to call upon the martial, economic, and technological resources of their respective city-states in times of strife. There are presently three organizations: the Maelstrom of Limsa Liminza, the Order of the Twin Adder of Gridania, and the Immortal Flames of Ul'dah. Serving a Grand Company means serving the nation to which it belongs. You will be charged with its defense, and tasked with advancing its cause. In return for your service, you'll be furnished with various rewards, some of which may prove useful to you. If you're agonizing over which Grand Company best deserves your loyalty, be at ease. The commitment you make this day need not be permanent. Should you wish to shift your allegiance at a later date, you're entitled to do so. It's no small choice you make. A thought occurs to me. You will, of course, recall the three city-states are planning to hold remembrance services. As part of the proceedings, the leader of each Grand Company will deliver an address. Hearing these addresses will help you make informed decisions. What say you, my dear officers? I think Minfilia could use a better shirt. You are as wise as beautiful, my lady. She is distracting. Let Ye hear our leader speak, then return here with her decision. We eagerly await your answer. I know full well that adventurers are by their nature a liberty-loving breed, and not best suited to the discipline of military service, but I strongly urge you to join a Grand Company nonetheless. While the promise of reward is enticing in itself, it's not the only benefit. You are possessed of great power, and with it you are capable of doing untold good. Great power is wont to attract attention, not all of it friendly. There will be those who wish you ill, and you must needs be on the lookout for them. However vigilant you are, you're but one woman. In the midst of a Grand Company, you'll be one woman among many, a friend among friends. Your achievements will be shared, and so will the danger. I can think of no better arrangement. Joining one organization need not mean leaving another. I hope we can continue to rely upon your aid. The 12 know we will have need of it in the days ahead. The Grand Companies seek to protect their own nations. We Scions, on the other hand, preserve all of Eorzea as a whole. Similar, yet not quite the same. Now then, I expect you'll be afield more often in the future. I would have you carry this link pearl with you at all times. It will let us stay in touch regardless of location. Eorzea is changing, eh? And you have the power to help shape it anew. None can say what the morrow will bring, but so long as we believe in ourselves, there's naught we cannot achieve. It's time you made ready for your journey. Before you depart, be sure to speak to Tataru. She'll apprise you as to where and when the remembrance services are due to take place. Lots of talking so far. I'm sorry about all the attention you're getting. I might have sung your praises a little too loudly, and often to a few too many people. Next time I'll be sure to hold my tongue, literally if necessary. Anyway, I expect you want to know where and when the remembrance services are taking place. If all goes to plan, Gridania's Grand Company will hold the first of the 3 services, and Elder Seedseer Kani Senna will deliver her address at the Mi-Kito Amphitheater. At this point, I should probably mention that due to the organizational challenges involved in assembling all the involved parties, it's possible the order of the services might change. But there's not much we can do about that, so make Gridania your first port of call. Then go to Ul'dah. Last but not least, you must make your way to the stateroom in Limsa Liminza. Okay. Off you go then. I hope you'll find the remembrance services suitably educational. Visiting the city-states in my prescribed order, though with your record of impeccable timing, the schedule may wait shall... Okay, so if I go to any 3 of them, I can just do whatever I want. Well, we're already in Thanalan. We should go to Ul'dah first. Or no, we're right next to Limsa Liminza. Why would we not go there first? Actually, no, let's go to Ul'dah first. We can take a chocobo to get there. Maybe I should do it in the order they tell me to. I mean, we can do it in a different order, but it seems like she wanted me to go in that. Okay, I'm going to do it in the order she wants me to, even though it seems like the worst one. It's the one that's furthest away from the shroud. $500 at Gridania. I happen to know for a fact, though, that the amphitheater is busy. It's full. Assuming Easter's still going on. Yeah. Well,
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seedseers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body. Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the green wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hyur and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seedseer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hyur and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves, nor for us. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. Ever have we fought to protect the sanctity of the Twelveswood. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness. And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed, each waking hour a struggle to survive. Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds. To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters. Dark times are upon us.
Time was a man could walk the highways without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, We must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity. We must think of the children.
Woods will be done.
It's up to us to protect the
Follow
forest.
the elementals!
I'm not sold.
If you'll permit me, Alfie no. And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
The Gridanians are unfortunate enough to have to contend with two beast tribes. The Ixal are unquestionably the more troublesome, being of a naturally warlike disposition, and wont to summon their bloodthirsty primal, Garuda. The Sylphs, by contrast, are peaceful in nature, being mischievous rather than malevolent, and have long been on friendly terms with the Gridanians, until recently at least. Alas, they've grown aloof, a change observed at roughly the time they summoned the primal Rama. The Gridanians have no love for war. They consider open conflict a last resort. Though they clash with the Ixal ever more regularly, you may be assured they do so in self-defense. As for the Sylphs, they are as yet bound by a peace treaty, though one wonders how long it will be before it's broken. The Twelveswood was grievously wounded during the calamity, leaving Gridania vulnerable to attack. The people are hopeful, restoring the wood and thereby the power of the elementals will put an end to their woes. How long will that take? Centuries, I'd wager. Meanwhile, the Ixal will continue their incursions, spurred on by Garuda and her insatiable appetite for destruction. Whether the Gridanians like it or not, sooner or later it will come to all-out war. When it does, the Order of the Twin Adder will need all the help it can muster. She looks so bored. How valuable might the aid of a capable adventurer prove to them? So yeah, I'm not sold by Canny Senna. I think that her plan is like a plea. Let's make everything go back to the way it used to be. That's no step forward. Oh wait, I missed. Oh, That's the gold saucer. Which we're not doing at the moment. This music is so good. I love it.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore.
Hurrah! Drybone!
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold. Where by the grace and glory of Naldar have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Uldar!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we. Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden, and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death. Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth. We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Uldar stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you, line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Uldar, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Uldar. As Uldar prospers, so shall her people.
Yeah, for Uldar!
Together we are one.
Your Grace.
Drybone? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measured that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the Inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn! Forsooth!
The time is now!
I fancy meeting you again.
The Uldans have a long history of conflict with the Amalja, the beast tribe that worships the primal Ifrit. Judging by your look of distaste, I take it you have encountered them. The Uldans do not shy from confrontation. If aught threatens their precious prosperity, they will seek to crush it. So they have dealt with Ifrit thus far, smothering his flames each time he is stoked to life. Yet he is but one of several problems. Though they have been quiet these past 5 years, the Guardians have not gone away. Meanwhile, refugees continue to arrive in droves, and Ul'dah has no clear policy on how to deal with them. After all, not even the Sultanate's coffers are bottomless, and even assuming they had the coin, resources will ever be finite. Which brings me back to the subject of Ifrit. It's been observed the Amalja are summoning him with ever-increasing frequency. Every time they do so, the Ul'dan send their forces to smite the primal, and though they invariably succeed, each victory is bought with blood. It's a war of attrition they cannot sustain. Small wonder then that the immortal flames are eager to recruit more members. At such a desperate hour, an adventure of your experience would be a most welcome addition. For their sake, I hope the Flame General's words struck a chord with you. It was a good speech. Alright. Dum, ba-da-dum, bum.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Hurrah, yeah, ah, ha, ha, yeah, ha!
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Gallian Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Carteneau. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you, no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again? Yet there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless Rotano. The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishbuck
The Sahagin have risen?
While the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Gallian Empire. Even now the curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both, and see this ship safe to port. We must mend the rift the calamity has reopened twixt pirate and maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all.
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin!
Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the 7 hells, Admiral!
Fancy meeting you again.
Fancy that. As the Admiral mentioned in her address, Limbs of the Minza is plagued by 2 beast tribes. The first are the fish-like Sahagin, worshippers of the primal Leviathan. The second are the kobolds, who dwell beneath the earth and take the primal Titan for their god. As if the beast tribe's presence weren't troublesome enough, the Guardians have also chosen to erect a fortress right in the Leminzan's backyard. And that is to say naught of internal strife. As a nation of pirates, there is no end to the blood feuds among the various factions. While they fight amongst themselves, the Guardians whet their blades and watch. If the Leminzans are to have any hope of withstanding the Empire, they must resolve their own affairs. Differences must be set aside, the primal threat dealt with once and for all. To this end, I expect they'll soon take decisive action against the beast tribes. Mark my words, the Maelstrom Standard will be drenched a deeper shade of crimson ere long. That a capable adventurer like you would be a valuable addition is beyond question. Yay, this has been Philia. You're well, I hope. Would I be correct in thinking that the final remembrance service has been concluded? A moment ago, you say. What a coincidence. Jesting aside, I trust you remember our guests? Delighted though we are to have them here at the Waking Sands, it would not do to keep them in suspense any longer than necessary. In short, hurry back. Okay, before we leave here, though, we are going to turn in this other quest we have. We had to bring this guy supplies from all over the place. Over here. Here you go. Could this be? Yes, I can feel it. The light returns to my eyes. Power courses through my fingers. I live. And as I live, this unspeakable embodiment of ugliness must die. Begone, foul demon. And so I ask, how do you feel, madam? Why, it's as if, in but a single magnificent moment, I traveled beyond the void and returned to life as the embodiment of all that is beautiful. Could it be? Yes, it must. How else to explain such power? You are the one whose coming was foretold. You are the aesthetician. In the flesh, madam. I am Jandalain, crafter of coiffures, so divine that Menfina herself doth begrudge my clientele their beauty. Let us speak of you, madam. For where a moment ago stood a fashion-challenged frump, now there stands a beauty reborn. I'm already gorgeous, I don't need anything else. And you are the one I must thank for reviving my soul, that I might once again bestow my gifts on a realm bereft of beauty, a kindness I intend to repay in full. Do you fear that your own hell hairstyle is becoming passé? Fear the specter of gasp, ugliness threatening to consume you? Fear not, friend, it shall not survive my wrath. As the madam before you, as this very realm we call home, from an abyss of unfathomable drabness, you shall arise anew. My clients have been known to make reservations moons, even years in advance, but you shall have no such trouble. For proving a staunch ally to good taste, when all others turn a blind eye, I shall gladly place myself at your beck and call. The next time you find yourself plagued by aesthetic ennui, you need only ring a crystal bell from the comfort of any inn room. Jan Delane shall hasten to the scene. In a flash, the dreary, uninspired life you have hitherto known shall end. You shall travel to the realm beyond and return to us as a beauty reborn. I give you this token of the trust between us. Treasure it. It is the key to a world of aesthetic wonders ordinary women shall never know. Do come back, I've not made my next appointment. Can be redeemed for a single visit. You have befriended Jan Delane. By using the crystal bell found in your inn room, you can now call upon the services of the flamboyant esthetician. From hairstyle and color to face paint, he can create a new look for a mere 2,000 gil. Alright, where were we? We were going to Menphilia at Waking Sands. Welcome back, where the Grand Company leader's words is illuminating as you had hoped. Each nation is beset with problems. I trust you see now why your services are in such demand. Would that there were more of you, yea. But you must be tired from your journey. Rest a while and take a moment to reflect on your decision. Once your mind is made up, give the Grand Company officers your answer.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother, are you certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and Seventh Umbral era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies. Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alizé, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain. So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you.
Hope does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister, and will prevail together or not at all. The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
Alright, I guess we have to choose. But I think this is a good time to take a break. So, thank you everyone for watching. Which do you think I should choose? I have an idea already in my mind, but I'll see what you have to say. Thank you for watching. Until next time.